watched her hands acquire a slight tremor as she went to untie the cord that bound it. She held the bag over her open hand and gave it a slight tap. The doctor, always a man in the most complete and absolute control of himself, gasped audibly. A pearl, the largest he had ever seen, shimmered in the center of her damp palm. It was, quite simply, perfection. The doctor, an avid collector of precious things, knew at once what it was. "Behold," she said, with a theatrical gravity he found slightly silly, "the Pearl Le Fong." "It's beautiful," he said. "It is more than just beautiful, my dear doctor," she said. "I don't believe I know a word that comes close to describing it. Words sometimes seem so ill-suited to capturing the essence of something. I have gone through all my late husband's reference books, trying to find just the right word to do justice to it, and I have as yet come up with nothing. But yes, doctor, for lack of a better word, it is beautiful, isn't it?" "You said the Pearl Le Fong," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "My dear lady, although I do not know it, I'm sure there is quite a story behind it. Perhaps you would consent to reveal it to me at some occasion. I'm sure it's really quite fascinating." Although the doctor knew the story of the Pearl Le Fong as well as he knew his own name, or names, for the doctor had been known by many over the years, he needed time to arrive at a plan by which he could acquire the pearl from Lady Warrington, save from killing her outright. The telling of the tale, even as in abbreviation, would take some time, and time, at that moment, was what he needed most. Lady Warrington's eyes lit up. She rang for her butler and instructed him that she and the good doctor were not to be disturbed, and offered the doctor a fine brandy and a cigar, if he so chose, as she was inspired to tell the tale now, if he were of a mind to hear it now. "My dear lady," he said, his voice trilled with enthusiasm, "I would be delighted, absolutely delighted. May I?" he said, holding out his hand. He noticed her fingers twitch involuntarily to close around the pearl, but she then nodded. The doctor picked the pearl up from her palm and held it before the lamplight and, with effort, did not gasp again at its sheer perfection, its unrivaled beauty. He placed the pearl back into her palm and followed her to a pair of high-backed, overstuffed chairs, a small marble-topped table between them. Moments later, the butler reappeared with a tray on which sat two large crystal snifters, sloshing with an amber liquid, and a cigar, cutter, and matches. Only after the butler withdrew, closing the door behind him, did Lady Elizabeth begin. "I hope you won't find it too scandalous if I join you in a brandy," she said. "I know sherry is supposed to be a lady's drink, but my late husband, Lord Warrington, was quite a free-thinker, and taught me to appreciate some of the things typically relegated to a more masculine society. I will not, however, join you in a cigar." And with that she began the tale of the Pearl Le Fong. "In the 11th century, or was it the 12th, there was a Chinese emperor whose name was Fong." Chapter 2. In the 11th century, or was it the 12th, there was a Chinese emperor whose name was Fong. He was a despot of the highest order. His word was law. He could have put a man to death for whatever reason he wished, with the raise of an eyebrow. He had many wives, as it seems most of those barbarians did, but his favourite was an absolutely divine creature called Lili. Her beauty was renowned throughout all of China, which is quite a very large place. As she got older, he decided that he wanted to educate her, for no other in his kingdom gave him as much pleasure as did she. But she was a simple girl, and could not converse with the emperor in a manner in which he found entertaining. He chose not the wisest of all his advisers, but the most diversely educated, in order that Lili would be equipped